Hey folks, today I'm going to answer a viewer's question on TacMed TV. Hey folks, welcome to TacMed TV. My name is Steve, and today I'm going to answer a viewer's question from Carlo Alvarez. Carlo, sorry it's taken so long to get this answered. I've actually worked on this video for about a month, it seems like. I've shot it at least 5 or 6 times. Each time, the first time I shot it, I think it was like 45 minutes worth of answer, and I just think that's too long. I'm going to try to condense it down, and it's what I've tried to do each time I've reshot the video. So we'll see how I do with this one, but I think this one's going to make it work. So anyway, folks, this is the question that Carlo posed. It says, hey Steven, it's a bit off topic from the video, but I was wondering what your thoughts are on the future of EMS, specifically in paramedicine. I'm currently in the process of moving out to Canada to get a bachelor's degree in paramedicine. I recently read that on the one hand, the EMS field, specifically EMTs, has a projected growth of about 24%, but on the other hand, the minimum studies for paramedicine are being raised little by little. What do you think paramedics will be doing in about 10 years? And I personally believe that 1, the wage will go up, 2, a bachelor's degree in paramedicine will be obligatory for entry-level paramedics, and the scope of practice for entry-level EMTs will expand. Carl, thank you so much for the comment, and that was a fabulous question, because anybody, toss my phone out here, anybody that knows me, that I work with, or Jim Williams that you've met on the channel before, or John Hembest, that you will meet in some upcoming episodes when we talk about some different topics, they know that I have some really, I guess, big ideas on where I think EMS is going to go and where the field of paramedicine is going to go. But we'll address those one at a time. Your first thing that you mentioned was the wages are going to go up. Dude, the wages are almost going to have to go up, okay? For what is expected of us, the responsibility level that we carry, the level of education and the level of training, skill training that we have, the money is going to have to get right. You know, I've gone to places before, you know, when I've applied with various air med services or just another ground service, and talk to them when we get to the point where we're talking about money and the money's just not there, and I'm like, we're gonna have to do better on the money, and they say, well, you know, just pick up a second job. Well, why? Why should we in EMS have to pick up a second job just to make ends meet? All right, that's ridiculous. That should not have to be. That if we are as important as people like to tell us we are, then pay us for what we're worth, okay? Now I'm done with my rant. I could go on with that for at least 30 minutes, but I'm not going to. So yes, the wages are going to have to go up. If we're going to keep getting people to come into this field, the wages are going to have to come up. They're going to have to be a sustaining living wage. And I'm not trying to talk like a socialist or anything like that, but we need to be paid what we're worth, okay? We need to be paid what the value of our work product is. All right, so moving on from that, let's get away from that. The education, I do think education is going to play a bigger role. I think you're going to start to see, you know, where I'm at in Kentucky, the associates program at the Kentucky Community Technical College Center, KCTCS. They have satellite colleges all over the state. The one here where I'm at is the Southern Kentucky, or South Central Kentucky, no, wait a minute, Southern Kentucky. Yeah, Southern Kentucky, Sky CTC. Had to think about it for a second. Sky CTC here has an associate's program in paramedicine. I do think that we will see, moving forward, some type of bachelor's program, but I really think that taking the paramedicine program, and one of my best friends in the whole wide world is the program director for the KCTCS paramedic program in this side of the state. And he and I go back and forth on this all the time. I do think it was a mistake to make paramedicine attached to a degree, okay? Maybe not so much the associates. I can see some wiggle room there for an associate's degree. Don't really have a problem with it one way or the other. But I do see some issues moving forward, like with a bachelor's degree. All right, let's not try to make the profession itself, the being a paramedic, a bachelor degree level thing. How about we take that bachelor's degree and make that business administration with a focus on emergency medical services? Or we do something to teach people the business and leadership in EMS, okay? Being a paramedic and being a manager, supervisor, director, leader, whatever, two totally different skill sets, okay? Just because you're really good at one doesn't mean you're going to be good at the other. And EMS has always promoted, just throughout history, your best paramedics, your best EMTs, whatever, are the ones that move up. Sometimes that works out great. Sometimes that doesn't work out at all, period. End of story, all right? Two different totally skill sets. So let's send them to school to get that bachelor's degree in something that's going to help them forward their career in EMS into leadership and into management. Let's take some accounting classes. Let's learn how to work a budget. Let's do those things. Let's take some HR classes. Learn how we need to integrate human resources into what we're doing, because we're not taught any of that in paramedic school. All right, we're taught how to do a specific job. So anyway, the education, I think it is going to move forward. I'm a little bit of trepidation to see which way it's going to go, though. But I do think that's going to happen. Now, also on the education front, what I do see happening is, and I'm going to put a link to this in the description below. In a video a while back, the first one I put out to let you guys know where I've been for a while, I told you that I've gotten back into school. Now the semester's over. And I'm finishing up clinical time. Well, I'm still finishing up clinical time, but what I'm doing is the community paramedicine program. All right, and don't worry if you don't understand what that is. I'll put a link in the description below to send you to some things where you can read about what community paramedicine is. I'll send you to the school website, Hennepin Tech, up in Minnesota, is where I went to school. It's all online. I'll put a link to their program in the description below so you guys can go check that out. We are going to do a whole video on community paramedicine, so I'm not going to get into a whole lot of detail about what that is. We'll do that in that video. But basically what that is it's chronic disease management. They've realized that we've got highly trained, underutilized personnel and paramedics out there on the streets. What else can we do with them? What other things can we do with these paramedics that are out there? Because most of you know, especially if you're in the business, maybe 85% of the runs that we go on, if not a higher percentage, don't even really need a paramedic. They need an EMT or an advanced EMT. So we're kind of underutilized in that respect. So the community paramedicine program is something, and it's used differently in different states and in different locales. Where we're using it here where I'm at, it's more of a chronic disease management thing. We work real closely with some specific physicians and some specific high-risk patients of theirs. To keep them healthy, we do nutrition. We make sure they're doing their medications correctly. Make sure they have their medications. If they can't afford their medications, we're trying to find a way to get them their medications, okay? It's things like that that we're doing. We're trying to keep people healthy. We've moved more towards an intervention, an emergency treatment to let's do some prevention, all right? Let's stop it before it happens. Let's keep them healthy and keep them out of the hospital that way. So, excuse me. So that's one of the things that community paramedicine is. And again, I'm going to bring John Hembest in for that. He's already doing that job. You all haven't met John yet, but he's one of my tactical medics on the team where we work. He's my best friend. We're going to bring him in and let him explain a little bit more about what we do. And that's what I'm going to school for. So as soon as I get my clinical time done, hopefully I'll be able to move into that role. Now, as far as the other things, as far as, the future of EMS and the future of paramedicine, you look at the EMS agenda for the future, the white paper, the new stuff that's come out, and I'll dig all that up and I'll put that in the description box below for you guys to read and see what you think about it. You read that and see what you think. But for me, I do see an expansion, but I see a move more towards preventive care, and let's try to keep people out of the hospital. That's what I see as the future for EMS. Don't get me wrong, there's always going to be a place for critical care. There's always going to be a place for tactical. But now we're adding community paramedicine to it. The paramedic is starting to get to be a more rounded provider, okay? A lot of the stuff I've learned has been primary care stuff, different way of doing an assessment, different things to look for. So I really think you're going to enjoy that video when it comes up. But anyway, that's what I see as the future. That's just one person's opinion. That and $2 might get you a cup of coffee. I don't know. I don't drink coffee. But anyway, let me know what you think. You guys tell me what you think the future of the industry holds for us all. What does the future hold for EMTs? What does the future hold for paramedics? What does the future hold for EMS as an industry? Where are we going? What are we going to do? How are we going to keep doing what we're doing? You know, a lot of things have changed. So I'm interested to hear your all's thoughts on that. So anyway, I hope I kept this pretty well short and sweet. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much. I'll put the subscribe button up here over my left shoulder. Y'all hit that. Also hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when a new video drops, as soon as it drops. And I'll sprinkle some more videos around here for you guys to check out. And until next time, my name is Steve with TacMed TV, telling you guys to stay safe.